All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahshai, Ba'ashem Ba'akash. With double honors to my apostles at Great Millstone who taught me His truth, and a sincere shalom to your elect out there teaching His truth in all honesty and sincerity in these last days. Okay, and what you see here is the value of the Russian ruble. Let me go to a 1-year time frame because that really says it. As you can see, the ruble is in the middle of crashing right now. The Russian ruble. One Russian ruble isn't even worth a penny. It's not even worth a penny. Okay? And yesterday it was worth even less. But the Russian central bank said that they were, pulling out stopgap measures to stop it from falling. Now, the reason why the ruble is falling so much is because this war with Ukraine is not sitting well with the international community, not even with some of their own allies. Okay? And they keep getting sanctions put on them. Okay? Keep getting sanctions put on them. And the latest round of sanctions are, I believe it was on Gazprom Bank. Okay? So they're getting strangled. Okay? They're getting strangled. And they're resorting to measures to try and give it some value. Let me look at a 5-year. Yeah, as you could see, before the war in Ukraine, let me see what the peak was. Can't get it on that peak. Anyways, the peak is near 2 cents. Okay? But keep in mind also that the dollar has been falling in value. Okay, not in relation to other currencies necessarily, but overall. So if the ruble is falling in relation to the dollar, that means that the fall of the ruble was much greater than what's seen here because the dollar is also falling. Okay, this is just in comparison to the US dollar. As you see here in the search box, Russian ruble to USD. So if America was experiencing that crazy inflation the past few years, how much more so Russia? Okay, I mean, their currency's fallen over 50%. Okay, over the past 5 years. Or actually, this is only 2 years. So they have to resort to these measures, man. And, I'm sure that they're feeling it. Okay, because you'll have some economists that will say that a weak currency isn't necessarily a bad thing at times because it boosts exports and tourism. But if they have sanctions on them, there's nobody to push those exports to. Okay? And if it's deemed an unsafe area and there's all these sanctions, then ain't nobody gonna fucking go and visit Russia. So tourism's out the window too. All right. Uh, let me get this from Reuters. Russian central bank intervenes as ruble tumbles past 110 to the dollar. Bank executive says U.S. sanctions behind ruble's fall. Ruble lost 1/3 of value versus dollar since early August. That's only a few months. Okay, it's collapsing. New data shows economy overheated. Weak ruble down 1/3 in 4 months fuels inflation. Okay. Russia's central bank said on Wednesday it would stop foreign currency purchases in order to ease pressure on the financial markets After the ruble weakened beyond 110 to the US dollar, down by one-third since early August, the central bank said it had decided not to buy foreign currency on the domestic market. Oh, man. Of course something went wrong. From November 28th until the end of the year, but to defer these purchases until 2025. The decision was made to reduce the volatility of financial markets. The regulator said in a statement, since Russia was blocked from using the dollar and euro, it has made foreign exchange interventions using Chinese yuan. Russia published new economic data on Wednesday, highlighting the latest signs of overheating in the economy, retooled for the purpose of fighting the war in Ukraine, which has sucked workers out of the labor force. Real wages were up 8.4% in September, and year-on-year terms, unemployment hit a record low 2.3% in October, and weekly inflation stands at almost 0.4%. All despite, I mean, the Rothschilds own Reuters, man. Look how many fucking ads they gotta have on there. They got all the money in the damn world. They make the money, and they gotta have all these fucking ads. All right? All despite a benchmark interest rate of 21%. So interest rates are sky high there. The ruble was down 7.25% since the start of Wednesday's trade at 113.15 to the dollar, according to LSEG data, further fueling inflation, which is running at around 8% a year. Okay? Let's see if there's anything else. Under Russia's budget rule, the finance ministry sells foreign currency from its rainy day national wealth fund to make up for any shortfall in revenue from oil and gas exports, or makes purchases in the event of a surplus. Okay? See if there's anything else. The ruble's fall has been compounded by a fall of more than 20% of the stock market so far this year, as investors shift their savings from stocks to deposits, which offer interest above the benchmark rate of 21%. Okay? So, that's making my whole phone slow down, that article. Okay? So they're taking measures to stop the fall of the ruble. Now, we know that Trump wants to negotiate a peace deal. Okay? And in that peace deal, a lot of those sanctions would be lifted. And NATO does not want that, okay? NATO does not want that, man. Because think about it, all those NATO countries, they've spent the past couple of years, they've spent a lot of political capital, they spent a lot of human capital, a lot of their, they've used a lot of their military technology, okay? They've wasted a lot of money supporting Ukraine, okay? They've been weakened overall just to support Ukraine, okay? But really, like Putin says, he's not at war with Ukraine. He's at war with NATO. But Ukraine is like the battleground area for it. Like, let me start off with this scripture. It says Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? And it's really talking about these elite level Edomites, man. It's not talking about Satan like these churches would teach. Okay. And he's made a lot of these NATO and EU nations and America a lot weaker. Okay, Russia's pretty much at war with a bunch of different countries, man. It's like a big proxy war, you know? It's like a big fucking proxy war, man. So a lot of these other nations, including America, are weaker. You know, just think about every time they give money to Ukraine. Here in Babylon, man, they get in a fucking uproar over that shit. You know, here it is, these average Americans, these Babylonians, they're struggling to pay their bills, you know, and then they're sending all that money to Ukraine. And it's just setting the seeds for World War III, man. World War III's been a trending topic all year because of that. Okay? And then the nuke talks have been happening. Okay, all kinds of back and forth threats, you know? But here comes Trump, right? And what does Trump want to do? He wants to organize some kind of deal. Yeah, he's coming in that peace and safety deal or spirit, and Russia's in a position where they would pretty much be stupid not to take that deal. Okay, and part of that deal is going to be that they're going to lift them sanctions, which is going to make the ruble rise. Okay, it's going to make the ruble rise, man. So hey, I mean, you know, if any brothers if they trade foreign currencies, you know, feel free to leave your input on that. But I'm all, I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed that if they're allowed back into the global market, that the ruble is going to rise. Okay, and that's going to really piss off a lot of these NATO nations primarily, because they've spent a lot of resources and a lot of political capital uh, supporting Ukraine. You know, these sanctions took a couple years to work, and they're working, and now they're just going to be lifted like that. They're not down with that, man. They're not down with that. Okay, let's get this in Obadiah. In fact, let me get that. Well, actually, I can just quote it, man. The scriptures say that Babylon's not going to be healed. Okay, Babylon's not going to be healed. The world's not going to go back to the way it was. If there is a ceasefire, it's going to be temporary. But really, this is going to get America to be hated by its own allies. Okay, and not only that, but politically, America is going in a separate direction than Europe. Okay, Europe is going more so-called left-leaning. You know, more socialist, and America is doing the exact opposite. So they're at serious political differences right now. This is Obadiah, the seventh verse. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So America is pretty much in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Okay, they've been spending all this time escalating the war, right? Supporting Ukraine, and now they're going to piss off their allies by trying to stop it. Okay, and these NATO nations are talking about enacting all kinds of emergency measures to punish America before Trump gets in office, because they're getting ready for this. Okay, they're getting ready for this, man. We can get this in uh, Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, you know, And the wine is a representative of those philosophies. And America and Europe, which Europe would represent what a lot of those NATO nations in this case, they're having they're going their separate ways politically. Okay, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. And America has had that spirit. Okay, where they think that anything that goes on in the world is their business. And here it is, Trump. He's about to place all these protectionist policies, man. He's talking about tariffs for damn near everybody, even Canada and Mexico. Who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied. Okay? So no matter what the result, he's not going to be satisfied. Esau, Edom, these super elites. But gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Because uh, Trump wants to, he's talking about bringing about peace to the world, man. Okay? That's heaping unto him all peoples. Okay? He wants all people to come together for the sake of peace. You know? He wants America to lead the way. Well, the Lord has other hands. I mean, has other plans. Yeah, the Lord has other plans, and he's about to put hands on America, man. Okay? Especially with all this tariff talk, you think that's not going to piss off a lot of America's allies? Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long to him and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, thick meaning debts, man. The debt machine has run out. Okay? They don't have money to help their people. It all goes to helping Ukraine. Okay? And a lot of people go online and talk about how much money these so-called migrants are costing the nation. And that's not just happening here in Babylon, man. It's happening in Europe too. Okay? So the citizens are pissed off. The nations are divided. That's what the Lord said. He said he was set to bring not peace but division. Let's see. I know it's in the New Testament, but there's another scripture that has that. So like Matthew 12:25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Okay, which we bring that out a lot lately. Because aren't America and the EU supposed to be one house? Okay, aren't they supposed to be one house? Right? The great whore, right? With the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. They're all divided against each other, man. You even have EU nations that are trying to say enough is enough. We're not going along with this shit no more. You got Poland that's saying they're not allowing the immigrants in there. And they're trying to stay out of the war. Okay. Slovakia. I put the wrong word in, but bear with me. I was just seeing if there was any other scriptures that I could bring out with that word. Luke 12:51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, but rather division. Okay, so that's what Yahushua was is putting on the earth, man. That spirit of division on the earth, man. The world's not going to come together. That's that peace and safety spirit, man. The world's not going to come together. Who's in charge of this kingdom at the end of the day? Okay? Who's in charge of this kingdom at the end of the day, man? Those super elites. They don't want peace on earth. You know? Just like we read, he's a violent man, neither keepeth at home. Okay? I want to bring out one last scripture. This is Revelation 17 and 16. Okay, that beast being NATO, right? And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, 10 horns represents the original EU nations, right? The EU economic community. These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Okay? Now, the whore is representative of America, so NATO is going to start turning on America, man. The 10 horns. And we're seeing that division because, like I was saying, man, America is going a completely opposite way politically. And they're about to ruin all this so called progress that Europe or that NATO made. I keep saying Europe, but it's really NATO that NATO made with this war effort. All that wasted time, all that wasted political capital, all that wasted money and resources, military technology. So it's pretty much all going to be for naught if there is a ceasefire. Okay. And then we're going, and then you'll see the ruble go right back to its place. uh, you think that's not going to get them mad, man? The West just bought the farm on the whole Ukraine situation, and it's about to fall flat on their face, man. And then you have Russia with that new military technology, that new missile technology. Okay, but with that, I hope you brothers were edified and informed. Just keep paying attention. You know, and keep hoping and praying, man. Okay, that MOTB is coming soon, man. Okay, we're seeing the beginning stages of World War III, and that the big dividing between uh, the whore and the beast. Uh, so till next time, shalom.